Hello, folks. I'm your friendly, experienced lawyer, and I'm doing this as more or less a public service to those who are contemplating a career in the legal profession, specifically lawyers. This is 2022. I have more than 20 years of experience, both working for small law firms, medium law firms, the government, um, and in-house, and pretty much as a more or less general counsel for 2 or 3 smaller companies. I have litigation experience. I have business transactional experience. I have, I normally, let's put it this way, I've done a lot. And I was formerly married to someone that worked for the largest law firm in a particular region of this country, and closed many transactions with those people. So by and large, I've had a good smattering of many different aspects of practicing law. I practice personal injury law, criminal law. Like I said, I have several decades of experience. So what follows is basically gives folks some guidance, some free guidance. I sort of view this video as a must if you're considering going to law school, especially. What precipitated this? Well, I recently had a client who shall remain nameless came into my office with a legal problem. This particular client was in the process of taking the bar exam for the 5th time, and went to a prestigious law school, very prestigious law school, very complicated situation. But the thing that you should know is that, what you should know is that the situation this client faced was that this client had over $250,000 of student loans. Let me repeat that, $250,000 of student loans. Now, a couple things about student loans. The biggest one being that unless it's a hardship situation, they are non-dischargeable in bankruptcy. President Biden has just gone through this thing about forgiving $10,000 in student loans for some students. Now, 10,000 versus 250,000, for a lot of these folks, that $10,000 forgiveness isn't going to amount to a hill of beans, but that's not why I'm here. $250,000 of non-dischargeable student debt. So, it's been a while since I've looked at student loans. My recollection is they have to be paid in 5 years, but the Sally Mae, or the Student Loan Authority, who it is, Sally Mae right now, they are fairly reasonable about giving folks an extension on their student loans. Extension. However, it is not all that unusual for folks who even reach retirement age, and I'm talking about lawyers now, okay, with a lot of them have gone through school, have a lot of student debt, to get into their 50s and into their 60s and still paying student loans. You not only have that when you go to law school, but you've got 3 years of lost opportunity to earn significant income, and you're paying money out. So basically, in terms of your lifetime wealth, you're looking at setting somebody back probably somewhere between, $100,000 to $400,000 that goes to law school. The math is going to be different for different people. Well, now think about it. When you get out, you're going to be saddled with an extra house payment. essentially, when you get out, okay? Now, one reason I made, this is my first video, I plan on doing several, but there are a couple things that make this such an egregious problem, and that is that such a high portion, two things. Number one, a lot of people graduating from law school cannot find jobs. They especially can't find jobs that pay the salaries that are necessary to finance or to pay for that kind of student loan. And then you get behind the eight ball. And really, if you don't get the right job to begin with in your legal career, you are going to find it harder and harder to catch up. The second thing is even the ones that find jobs have a hard time. A lot of them, unless you're probably in the upper 15 or 20% of your class, are going to probably have disappointing income results. I haven't seen the statistics lately, but I'll give you an example of that. Because this happened to me a few years ago. My clients were having a difficult problem, and all of a sudden my business dried up. And so, in essence, I went out to do something called document review, where you go in, and other law firms hire these document review firms to go in and review documents for responsiveness, for attorney-client privilege. They take out HIPAA redactions where they play by private information that has to be wiped out or redacted on documents. And we were paid a whopping $25 per hour. Now you do the math. If you've got for example, let's take this client's student loan situation and cut it in half. If you're a typical person, young lawyer, let's say and most of the people in there were like, this organization that I was doing some work for had like, at any one time had about 150, we'll say about 120 lawyers in their offices doing document review. Now, all of us were being paid $25 an hour. Now you do the math and try to figure out whether you can service a student loan of a couple $100,000 or even an extra 40 or 50,000, making $25 an hour. The problem is when you go out and look for a job, that kind of experience doesn't put most law firms don't view that as being particularly impressive. As a matter of fact, I think one bar, I looked at this, admittedly, it was about 4 or 5 years ago, but one bar did not even, when they were talking about if I wanted to move to that state, for example, if you did any document review, that did not count as years towards whether you could get reciprocity. In other words, get waived in based on experience. So this is part one of this particular set of videos, and there's more to come, and I hope that you'll join us for the next video as well. So this is your friendly, experienced lawyer. So until next time, bye-bye.